After the sleepiest 2024 and the most meh 2025 imaginable, comic book chaos is finally waking up. 2026 is stacked. 15 superhero projects, from nice little appetizer to this will melt the seats. And sitting on the throne is Doomsday, the one Marvel is clearly betting will rip theaters open. But here's the real question. What does each project actually bring to the table, and in what order are they going to bombard us? I'm going to break down the entire 2026 lineup, title by title, with the freshest updates on each. Hey everyone, Lord of Leaks here. Hit the like button to back me up, and let's get into it. First up in 2026 is Wonder Man. And yeah, this one smells like the classic first pancake situation. The show premieres January 27th, and behind the scenes, it got reworked so hard it basically became a different project. It was originally positioned as a foundational piece, the kind of thing that would push Simon Williams toward the Avengers spotlight. Now it feels like Marvel took a big swing, panicked halfway through, and ended up with a chopped-down version they can't fully commit to, but also can't justify throwing away. So they're releasing it under the Spotlight banner. Translation: don't expect it to move the main MCU chessboard too much. The upside: 8 episodes. At least we're not repeating the Ironheart situation where the season got hacked down to 6. Now, Marvel does have 2 heavyweight premieres this year that could genuinely reshape the MCU long-term, but Wonder Man isn't really selling itself as one of them. Plot-wise, we're following Simon Williams, a top-tier powerhouse, who chooses acting over saving the world from universe-ending psychopaths. The tone is supposed to be post-ironic and satirical, a meta-look at a fictional studio inside the MCU that produces superhero movies. Sounds fun, except the timing is brutal. Seth Rogen's The Studio basically just did the Inside Hollywood angle and did it loudly. So if Marvel's barely hyping Wonder Man a month before release, that's not mystery, that's damage control. Because the real we mean business MCU drop of 2026 is Daredevil Season 2. It lands in March, and this is the season that's fully built after the reboot. They already reshot Season 1 into something actually watchable, and Season 2 is being teased as bigger, darker, and meaner. Mayor Wilson Fisk going to war against a superhero resistance that's been declared illegal. That pitch alone is gasoline. And then Marvel throws a match. Kristen Ritter is back as Jessica Jones. She said Jessica will join the resistance and help Daredevil fight the city. The only bummer is the Punisher situation. Officially, he's not in Season 2 because his solo special exists. But come on, Marvel's official statements are often just performance art. If this season is really as massive as it sounds, don't be surprised if someone like Spider-Man swings in for a quick "Hey, I still exist" cameo. Let's be real, it's hard to picture New York turning into a war zone and Peter Parker just sitting at home polishing his web shooters. And Marvel basically teased it already. The head of Marvel TV hinted that Daredevil Season 2 has a small but real thread leading into Spider-Man 4. So yeah, this season isn't optional lore, it's homework. Now, quick detour, 2 projects that aren't tied to Marvel or DC continuity. March 2026 also brings Invincible Season 4, and the big new threat is the Viltrumite nightmare himself, Thrag, voiced by Lee Pace. That combo alone sounds illegal. Then April 8, The Boys reaches the finish line. They're hyping the finale like it's the second coming. Eric Kripke swears he's going to untangle every storyline, reunite the Winchester brothers from Supernatural, and drop a genuinely expensive, genuinely high-quality final season. You buying that or nah? Tell me in the comments. And yeah, watch to the end because there's supposedly info about a new spin-off set in the Boys universe. Alright, The Punisher. No exact date yet, but the timeline is clear. It drops after Daredevil and before Spider-Man 4. And that's not random, that's a pipeline. John Bernthal straight up said he signed on only after confirming we're getting the real Punisher. Uncompromising, brutal, and R-rated. And he teased a classic Frank Castle spiral, the kind where the line isn't crossed, it's erased. Leaks say it takes place after Daredevil beats Kingpin. Fisk's empire collapses, and Frank shows up to finish the paperwork on whoever's left. It's reportedly inspired by Welcome Back, Frank, and the whole point of that story is Punisher cleans house and accidentally creates a vacuum that every criminal in New York tries to fill at once. So instead of calming the streets, Frank's cleanup lights the city on fire. Gang war season. And guess where that war spills next? Spider-Man 4. Tombstone, Stone, Scorpion, and a parade of crime bosses, all fighting to claim the empty crown. Peter goes in with webs and morals. Frank goes in with, well, Frank. Obviously they clash, obviously it gets ugly, but the rumor is they eventually swallow the friction and end up on the same side because they'll have to deal with Mark Ruffalo's Grey Hulk. How Marvel makes that cocktail work without it feeling like a random blender setting, no idea. But that's the spice. Feige already learned the hard way with Mysterio, when the twist was basically public knowledge before release. So now Marvel is trying to keep the villain question actually mysterious. And while we're at it, is Sadie Sink really playing Ryan Gosling in Spider-Man 4? Sounds insane, which is exactly why it's circulating. Either way, we'll know on July 31st. But before Marvel lands that punch, DC steps into the ring. June 26th, Supergirl drops, and once again, DC is acting like the universe depends on a single release. Gunn has delivered good, not legendary so far. A solid Superman, a solid Peacemaker, 4 years in the chair, and WB leadership is going to ask the obvious, where's the wow? Supergirl is supposed to be that answer, but early signals are rough. The trailer pulled triple less attention than Superman's, and it got hammered with dislikes fast. People are clowning. Crypto peeing on Superman, heavy Guardians energy, self-copying, and even Star-Lord comparisons that are way too specific. The plot itself has potential. Kara Zor-El, stuck in a personal fog, meets an alien girl who desperately needs help. And along the way, we get Lobo, played by Jason Momoa. That part alone could carry a lot. And a real gold is psychological. Unlike Clark, Kara actually lived through Krypton's death old enough to understand it. That's real trauma, not just sad backstory. PTSD themes are sitting right there, begging to be used. The only question is whether the audience shows up and lets the movie breathe, or decides in advance that it's Guardians cosplay and skips it. And yeah, that decision might shape the next era of DC. But here's the twist. Supergirl isn't DC's only 2026 bet, and the second one looks way stronger. The Green Lantern series hits in summer, and this one actually sounds like they know what they're doing. Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre are leading, and the hook is straight-up true detective energy. A strange murder in Nebraska, a slow-burn investigation, heavy mood, big mystery, and yes, Sinestro is in the villain slot. That alone makes it feel fresh. Most importantly, it doesn't look like Guardians of the Galaxy, but in DC. Thank you. Plus, Nathan Fillion's Green Lantern is expected to show up, and Gunn is already calling this series key for the future of the DCU. So it's not filler, it's infrastructure. Now Marvel fires back with a 2-series combo. First up, X-Men 97 Season 1 and Season 2, aimed for summer. This is the safe bet. Classic X-Men DNA, strong animation, leadership drama, and the kind of emotional pain Marvel actually does well when it stops trying to be cute. The big bad is Apocalypse, time travel is on the menu, and the expectation is basically epic mode. If it lands, it gets renewed fast, Season 3, maybe even a long run. Marvel TV's boss already hinted that multiple continuations are in the pipeline. The red flag? The Beau DeMaio situation, that ugly firing, and the replacement by Matthew Chauncey, who worked on What If, which was fine, but not exactly elite storytelling. So the question is simple. Does the soul stay, or do we get the sterile Marvel Factory version? Fingers crossed. Second Marvel series in that same window, Vision Quest. This one's interesting because it's a survivor from the old Marvel plan. It was in motion before the reboot, but unlike Wonder Man, they didn't manage to ship it in time, so they retooled it post-reset. And that's actually a good sign. It means they had a chance to fix it. Add Ultron returning, because let's be honest, he left the MCU way too early, and suddenly Vision Quest has real weight. The showrunner frames it as a story about fathers and children, identity, and accepting what you are. And yes, a little Young Avengers flavor. Originally, in the Kang-era roadmap, Vision Quest was supposed to properly roll out a young team. Now it's supposedly smaller, but the leaks still suggest Wanda's kids will appear, and maybe even Wanda herself, which would instantly upgrade the stakes. Then in autumn, DC goes full weird again. A Clayface movie, a Batman villain film without Batman. Reeves made that approach work with Penguin, but here's the problem. Gunn pulled Clayface out of Pattinson's world and dropped him into the main DCU, where we still don't even have a clear Gotham or a confirmed Dark Knight. So fans are understandably like, cool, but who is Batman first? Still, the pitch is nasty in a good way. Body horror about an actor whose face gets destroyed by a gangster who turns to scientists and comes out the other side as a creature that can literally turn his body into clay. If they commit to the horror tone, this could either be a bold win or a beautiful disaster. No in between. Look, I'm not saying Clayface can't be amazing, it absolutely can. But let's keep our feet on the ground. This is not a character with automatic box office gravity. If Clayface clears 200 million, that's not okay, that's a miracle. And DC has an entire shelf of A-list icons collecting dust, so yeah, the question answers itself. After Clayface, though, something way more mainstream crashes the party. We're getting two completely different Spider-Men. Spider-Man #1 is animated, the Friendly Neighborhood series Marvel already renewed for Season 2, and the lineup is getting spicy. Gwen Stacy, Venom, and even Daredevil in the mix. Spider-Man #2 is pure chaos in the best way. Nicolas Cage as Ben Reilly in Amazon's Spider-Man Noir. They showed the first trailer to a live audience, and the reaction was basically instant hype. The premise is delicious. An older Spider-Man, burned out and reinvented as a private detective, gets dragged into a case tied to Uncle Ben's death. That's not just noir, that's personal. And if they lean into the mood, this could be a sleeper hit. And still, none of it is the main event, because the main event is Doomsday. Less than a year away, December 18, the biggest superhero theatrical drop of 2026 lands, and at this point, it's almost pointless to introduce it. The marketing is basically screaming the same message in different fonts. Nostalgia is the weapon, and they're gonna swing it like a hammer. Downey posts a Christmas greeting and casually puts both Doom and Iron Man on the ornament, like, okay bro, we get it, you're not here to play small. Then the Russos go on record calling Chris Evans a foundational Marvel actor and Steve Rogers the literal heart of the universe, which doesn't sound like one quick cameo, it sounds like we're building the whole machine around him again. And if they're teasing multiple versions, multiple roles, or some kind of twist, yeah, they're cooking the ultimate legacy buffet. And honestly, who's gonna complain? People begged for the old Marvel energy. Now Marvel is giving it back at maximum volume. One more thing before we wrap. The Soldier Boy series with Jensen Ackles in the Boys universe. No date yet, but the logic is obvious. They'll drop it after the final season to keep the franchise alive, like House of the Dragon did for Game of Thrones. The rumors say the script is done, filming starts mid-year, so realistically, don't expect it before roughly a year and a half. Bottom line, 2026 looks strong, not because everything is wrapping up, but because new arcs are opening up. Marvel is stepping into Secret Wars territory. DC is either heading for yet another reset or finally committing to the gun rollout. So let me ask you, what's the surprise of the year? What sneaks up and ends up being way better than anyone expected? And besides Doomsday and Spider-Man, what are you waiting for the most in 2026? Drop your takes in the comments. New video is already on the way. Bye.